Hi guys. Well, I finally got the bag loaded back up. It's right here. Put everything in it that I wanted in it. It's pretty heavy. But that's not the problem. The problem is after it's loaded up, it still won't adjust and it won't fit. It still cuts in here, right here on my arms. If I tried to hike with this thing, it would be a tragedy. So, oh, Gizzy bear, come here. And here's Gizzy, everybody. How you come see Mama? Oh yeah, there's Mama's baby girl. She probably wants lap time. Load up, load up, load up. Okay. Okay, we got a 45-pound lap dog. Okay, up down. You're too big. Whoops, you're graceful too. Okay, back to where we were. Oh, Gizzy, get down, get down. And you're all tangled up. Geez, no wonder you fell in the stream when we were camping. Miscoordinated. Okay, sit. Sit pretty. Come here. Oh, don't lay on your back. Come here. Come here. Don't get me. Come here. Up. Up. Pretty. No. Sit pretty. No. Sit pretty. We got a cat fixing to get it into the thing. Okay. They're all gone. All right, back to the bag. I'm gonna go ahead and unload it so you guys can see what I had in it. Whoops. First thing was, since it's sticking up here, was my poncho, my rain coat. Okay. In the top portion, I had a pair of gloves, snake bite extractor kit. This isn't the one that just does a tourniquet and cut. No, this has got like the suction thing. Not that I even know that it's that great, but it's what I had, and so therefore it's what I got. I've got my headlamps. There's 2 in here with some extra batteries, which I hope to replace this with a USB rechargeable headlamp, and that way I don't have to worry about batteries at all. Okay. I've got my boo-boo kit. Got my Mora knife and my Maxim skinning knife. This is the one that has the real fine point. Can you see that? I can't see the screen good from here because I'm too nearsighted. And then here's my Mora with the carbon blade. And then I have some Altoids because I like cinnamon. A tourniquet, a bandana, and some cordage. I've got my trail marker tape, and that's it. And that trail marker tape is if I have to go somewhere, if I'm out in the woods and I'm not absolutely positive where I am, I can put little pieces on trees and make myself a trail, which is a good idea. Now to open it up, and you can get this at, I think you can get it at Walmart, but I know you can get it at Lowe's and Home Depot. Usually in the tool department. They use them for marking flags for construction sites and things like that. I have my Renogy solar panel, which I'm not going to put in there because I don't want to throw anything on top of it. That's why it was on the very top of my bag. Okay, I've got my first aid kit with all my important stuff in it. I've got my Corona folding saw. I want to get a silky gomboy, but one of these days. I've got an extra backpack in case I need to put my food up a tree or go for a day hike. I've got something smaller other than this great big pack, right? Now I've got my food pack, and then the multi-meal is on the outside because it would fit down inside the food pack. And so was these are my drink mixes. Got some Kool-Aid in there. I got some oral rehydration, electrolyte mixtures, stuff like that. This is my Sawyer water filter and my T-ball. And some of you guys may have seen some of this stuff. So if you have, just bear with me. And then in here I've got some lids. I've got a couple of 20-ounce lids. I've got a pencil sharpener, so if I need to make shavings for fire. And I've got a cork. And this fits down into a bottle or whatever. If you find one, if you're, you know, SHTF and you find a bottle that don't have a lid, you know, you have to hold it the whole time. But if you have a lid, you can fit on there. Maybe you can stick it in your pack. So that's what's in this bag. Then I have in here is my 12 gauge reloading kit. Okay, which if I did, I put it in here just for drill. I don't have a 12 gauge right now, so if SHTF happens, I'd probably just ditch this because I don't have anything to do it with. I've got my canteen and my canteen cup. Now this was dry. I don't have any liquids in here. I've got just some S binders, some of these S hooks, my one whetstone, and then my sharpening steel, and a ferro rod down in here, an extra one. Okay, this is my belt kit. I went over this before. This has got a compass, multi-tool. It's got my char cloth. It's got a little dinky shovel, a bandana, and my this is kind of a fire kit too. It's got my magnifying glass. That's the name of it. I gotta think of it someday one of these days. And then I've got a whistle and a spare magnifying glass and a couple little odds and ends down in there, like another Ranger band and another scraper for a ferro rod. And then I don't have anything down in there yet. That's my belt kit. I've got my cook pot, and inside my cook pot, because I don't want to call it empty, is my cut resistant glove, another Sawyer water filter, and my fishing kit. Because I don't want to haul something that's empty, because that'd be a waste of space. So, and this bag right here, I've told you guys before, this is to keep stuff inside the pack getting dirty after I've used my cook pot on a fire. Now this is my girly kit. This has got, you know, my soap and toothpaste and toothbrush and a hairbrush and a couple of hair bands and things like that in here. This is my cordage kit. This has got, I went ahead and changed it up just a little. I went ahead and put some mule tape back in there. I've got some, what do you call these things? Zip ties. I've got a little bit of wire and like 3 hanks of 550 paracord. Now I could lighten this thing up a lot. I could take half of that out of there, but I didn't because I figured I want to see if I had room. And here I've got a map of the surrounding areas in a Ziploc baggie to keep it from getting wet. What I did is I had an old atlas, trucker's atlas, and these pages are coded. And I took New Mexico, which is closest to me. I took that state out, and then I cut out the cities around here so that if I was going through city, I'd have a general idea where the major highways were. This is my clothing. And in here I have a pair of silk weights, top and bottom, 1 extra t-shirt, 2 pairs of socks, a beanie cap, a couple of pair of underwears, and a pair of shorts. Because if I have to wash what I'm wearing, then I'll need something else to wear in the meanwhile. And this squishes down pretty small. It doesn't weigh that much. But I went ahead and put it in my purse, because this thing here I can tie to any length. I can make it a fanny pack. You know, I can tie it long. I can tie it around something to hold it in place. I like this particular bag because you can tie the handle. And there's no buckles to break. I've got, what's this? This is my repair kit. Now almost all my kits, almost all of them have a big lighter in them. So I've got a bunch of lighters in here. as emergency fire starting. I personally will go to the Bic first rather than try a ferro rod. If SHT happens and I have to use the ferro rod, I'll use it more than I will the Bics. But while things are plentiful and life is relatively good, I'll use the Bics, make it easy on myself. I've got a collapsible bucket, and that's all in the main pack. Now in the bottom pack is my whoopee and part of my MSS sleep system. What I've got is the bivy cover and the patrol bag, the green bag. The black bag's right over there. It's getting warmer, okay? This thing didn't want to fit the black bag too because it was just bulky. So I just put the bivy cover and the green patrol bag in the compression sack, and that's what I put in there. And that, my friends, is everything in this pack. And this pack is going to go away. Maybe. I want something that will be comfortable to wear. Okay? It doesn't have to be as comfortable as an old pair of sneakers, but it has to be a whole lot more comfortable than what it was. That harness just did not want to work right. Okay? It fit better than it did after I'd fixed it, but it's not good enough. I need something that will really adjust to fit me. And I need something that I can actually reach forward with my hands if I need to. Okay? I mean, you know, doing this is almost impossible. I can't do this with this. Okay? I should be able to do this with whatever pack that I have, just to be able to close my hands without really hunching in. To just be able to touch my hands. It needs to ride to the point where it doesn't rub me really hard right here. I don't know if you guys can see how red that is. Right through here. And that was because of that pack. I wore it around here for a little while. The weight was too much. I'll have to lighten it up some. But the way it fit is the problem. After all that trouble, it still won't fit. So it is what it is, right? Maybe I'll just take it apart and use pieces of parts for stuff. I don't know. It's just still not going to fit. I've got this thing adjusted as small as it would go, and this still wouldn't touch my top of my shoulders. This part right here. This still wouldn't touch the top of my shoulders. I've got it adjusted as short as it'll go, and I took up the I took this much off of the actual straps to make them suck down further. They still won't suck down all the way to where it actually rides on top of my shoulder. So it was riding right here and then on my hips. And that's fine to ride on the hips. It's supposed to ride on the hips. You know, like what, 60%, something like that. I can't remember the ratio. If somebody knows, please post it in the comments below. But you know, most of it's supposed to ride here, and then the rest right here, and then you're supposed to tip the bag back and forth so it balances, okay, on your hips, so that it's not pulling you back or pushing you forward. But it's not working. Just not freaking gonna work. And I'm really kind of bummed because I really wanted it to work. My son said he'd get me a rucksack. I think he's talking about an army one. And you know, that would work too. They're meant for long marches. I guess they're meant to be that way. These, I guess, you know, that's just a knockoff. You know, it's a cheap, cheesy one. But you know, maybe I did it wrong. I don't know. Maybe I should have sewed them in farther instead of arranging them. See, when I was doing it, I laid it across here comfortably, and then had him mark it in the back so that I could sew it where it was. I wanted it to lay comfortably right through here, right here. And it did part way, and then, but the way that thing hooks into the back, it pulls it around, and that's when it started getting into my arm real bad. So anyway, guys, it was a fail again. I'm giving up on this thing. I'm not going to try to make it work and fix it. I'm going to go ahead and put the stuff back in it just because I don't have another bug out bag. And you know, if I had to live with it, I would. But I'm not going to. I'm only going to leave it as my bug out bag as an emergency. And whenever I finally get a decent bag, everything will go into that. And then this one will go away. So I might take the top pack off of it to put onto my new bag. It's because I don't care if it matches. Okay, my new stuff. It doesn't all have to match and be gorgeous. It just has to be functional and comfortable and something I can actually wear. Now I realize that I'm not in ideal body shape for hiking. So before anybody points out my Buddha belly and whatnot, I do realize that. But that doesn't mean that a pack can't at least be semi-comfortable. This one's not at all comfortable, at all. It probably wouldn't have been too bad if I could have got this to right on my shoulders, and I could have got this to not cut into me so bad. It probably would have been acceptable, but it's just not the way it is. It sucks. So, I don't know. I was thinking, I'm going to talk to my son and see what he thinks about maybe getting an Alice pack frame and attaching this to the back of the pack frame. Now that might work. It's something I have to think about and ask him about because he knows more about that stuff than I do. Because, you know, if I can get this, the pack, if I took the belt and stuff off and the harness and all that whatnot, left this, these two little aluminum bars that keeps it from flopping. If I could do that and fit it onto an Alice pack frame, because you know that it's like an L shape, and fit it onto the bottom of that, maybe it might work. I don't know. We'll see. I'll talk to him and find out and see what he says and see what he thinks. Maybe there's a military surplus place in town. I could take it down with me and put it on the frame and see how it feels. Because what the problem is the attachment harness, the belt and the shoulder straps on this particular unit isn't working for me. But if the Alice pack frame will work with its shoulder straps and whatnot, and I can just attach this to it, then that might work out really good. We'll find out. So anyway, if you guys could hit the thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe, consider supporting the channel, it would be awesome. Share it with your friends. Check out my links down below. I've got an EMP Shield Unit $50 off coupon to protect your stuff from EMPs or CMEs. And it's military tested. All their information's on their website. And they are actually selling to the military right now. So I think that's right now. That or they're in the process of doing the contract. I don't know. Don't get me quoted because I don't know. But if you're worried about EMPs or coronal mass ejections from the sun, you need an EMP Shield unit. So I'm an affiliate with them, but that's the only place I'm affiliated with. It's because I believe in their product. I read everything. I spent days reading up on EMPs and CMEs and all that kind of stuff like that. So yeah, when I saw them and I looked at all their research and I watched all sorts of stuff. It take me too long to go through it, and I decided that their product was pretty good. So I mean, there's nothing perfect in this world. I wish. If it was, this would have worked. But we'll talk to you later, guys. You guys come back and see me, okay? And I mean it. Come back and see me.